our fellow Pinkos and comrades. Welcome to Malt Liquor Socialists. I'm your host, Mr. Kieffer, and in this episode, I'm joined by a man who is remote because I happen to have ironically caught COVID, and we are keeping him safe from my infectious tendencies. Mr. Morgan.
I was going to bring it up and tell the audience if the audio sounds a little bit different, it's because we have a huge elephant in the room, and it's that you keep catching these strange diseases.
Yeah.
When did you have pneumonia? Was that the beginning of this year or last year?
I think it was the beginning of this year.
Of this year.
Yeah, pneumonia was fun. This even more so. Well, I mean, actually, pneumonia was worse than this, but this still sucks.
I mean, you actually sound pretty good. So, thankfully you took all the shots. So
yeah, I mean, it comes and goes. Yeah. I'm actually a little bit behind on my vaccine schedule just because normally work provides the vaccines and they will have people come in, and they haven't done it for the last year, and it's like,
whoa,
fuck, guys.
Well, that's because it's nothing to worry about, John.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't get me started.
What are we doing today?
Well, so the reason this is ironic,
yes,
I have COVID. In this week's episode, we are going to cover some snippets of the Senate hearing of Anthony Fauci.
Oh, God.
That occurred on July 29th, 2026.
Okay.
Now, in case you didn't watch it, and I don't blame you if you didn't, epic chode and jealous bitch Rand Paul led a 3-hour-long witch hunt against Fauci. Wherein Fauci pled the fifth 111 times.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad that there's nothing else pressing in this country that we need to deal with. This seems like a reasonable thing to go over for 3 hours in a hearing.
I actually do recommend for listeners, if you have the gumption, go through, listen to this thing in whole, largely for a couple of reasons. First off, there are actually Democrats on this. I cut them out. I only went through actually a few of the Republicans. The video I whittled it down to about 34-ish minutes.
Okay.
And I went after some of the first Republicans, mostly, that were dicks. There's not a better way to describe it. They were dicks.
Okay.
I cut out John Fetterman because everybody knows he's a dick. There's no...
oh, God.
Yeah, there's nothing new there. I cut out the Democrats because they weren't really dicks. They were bringing up valid points. Many of those points were... It's interesting that we're going after Fauci 6 years later when we have all these other interesting things we could be looking into in a Senate hearing, like, I don't know, explosive diarrhea, shitting yourself parasites in the lettuce, or measles being the highest it's ever been in 30 years.
No, we got to go over this.
This
is all they have. That's all they have.
It is. No, it's a distraction because, again, stuff is explosively shitty if you eat the lettuce.
And other things, too.
This is true. Now, in case some listeners are thinking, holy shit, that seems like a lot. It absolutely is. And fortunately, as I said, we're not going to go over the entirety of this hearing in any means. That would be nuts. But again, we're mostly going to go over GQP maggot assholes, starting with Rand Paul. There are going to be two not MAGAs or Republicans or whatever the hell you want to call them. One is a former chair of the Senate committee. He's a Democrat. He brings something up, and then I don't do the whole thing because it's redundant. And then the other one is Fauci. And I only have Fauci's audio in here once because it's his opening statement. And then after that, he only repeats the same thing over and over again. And I am very proud that he did because I don't think any of the ones I got showed it. But some of those Republicans in there, and again, one of the reasons I recommend, listen to this or watch it. Watch the whole thing. Some of them got fucking pissy at Fauci.
I heard that they did.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some of these are pissy. But I mean, some of them got pissy, like, I am angry, rabble, 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 instead of trying to be witty pissy. And the witty pissy was also sad.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to start off with some claims from Rand Paul.
Okay.
So the claims Rand Paul makes in his opening remarks, in case anyone is unfamiliar with Rand Paul, he is Ron Paul's son.
Ron Paul.
He is currently an uncertified ophthalmologist, basically an eye surgeon. He let that certification expire, and instead of getting recertified by the American Board of Ophthalmology, he helped to form a new board called the National Board of Ophthalmology, which the mainstream governing body of his medical profession, again, the American Board of Ophthalmology, does not recognize. Him and his wife are two of the heads of that National Board of Ophthalmology that he created. And keep in mind, Rand Paul is a chode.
Yes, very much so. I'm glad that when people, become senators and whatnot, they can just form their own boards without any oversight whatsoever.
Oh, indeed. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into this, and I hope I'm able to get this right, because since we're doing this remote, Mr. Morgan's sharing the same audio track as our video, and I don't want to have to. It'll be fun.
It's fun.
Publicly, Anthony Fauci promoted the theory that the virus arose naturally, while privately, he was well aware of a mountain of evidence suggesting the virus originated in the lab. The American people deserve answers. The American people deserve to know why dangerous research was funded by NIAID in a totalitarian country, in a lab that lacked acceptable safety standards.
All right, I just want to double check. You're able to hear him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So, again, this is one of the longer ones with Rand Paul, because he's a chode. This mountain of evidence that this chode is referring to is neither a mountain nor is it definitive or conclusive evidence. NPR has covered how most virologists and peer-reviewed studies indicate the virus most likely has a natural origin. Genomic analysis showed no clear signs of deliberate genetic engineering or manipulation. And the World Health Organization's advisory groups maintain that available data points towards animal to human spillover, basically just natural shit. So let's see.
Decision to fund dangerous gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, will likely go down in history as perhaps one of the worst public health decisions. Frankly, the American people deserve an apology. I hope today Dr. Fauci will come clean, admit it was a mistake to fund dangerous research in China, admit that the risk of this dangerous research exceeded any possible limits, ask for
dear
forgiveness,
Christ,
and pledge to help our government devise safeguards so a man-made epidemic never happens again. Instead,
fuck this guy.
No, he is.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Occam's razor. Which is more likely, that a country developed a virus that, got out and, like this Hollywood movie scene, like, oh, it escaped and all these people are infected and now, or a virus arose naturally from its own environment, jumped from animal to human, and caused an outbreak that we've seen for thousands of years.
Well, when you put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's continue some of this bullshit.
Okay.
You have for years avoided responsibility. Regarding the lockdowns, you argue that you did not personally issue every lockdown order, close every school, or impose every mandate. But officials across the country invoked your authority to justify these decisions. And you presented your recommendations not as judgments open to debate, but as dictates of science itself. Your own words demonstrate that you understood the influence you exercised. On March 14th, 2020, you wrote that the task force recommendations were driven by me, yourself, Deb, and CDC. The next day you wrote that you had convinced Mayor Bill de Blasio to close the New York City schools, so you were involved. That same night, Governor Gavin Newsom's chief of staff told you that the governor had decided to close California schools, bars, and restaurants after watching you on television. Presidents, governors, mayors, school boards, corporations, and Congress all bear responsibility for the decisions they made. The COVID lockdown, however, could never have been inflicted without you aiding and abetting the crime.
I like it. It's a crime.
it's a crime to try to save people's life. God, fuck this. Look, I'm going to say something fucking controversial here, okay?
Okay.
And part of me even, look, I don't really agree with what I'm about to say, but sometimes I kind of feel like maybe we shouldn't have locked everything down. Maybe we should have rubbed people's fucking nose in it. If people like you and me wanted to wear masks and stay away from society, we would have done that anyway. Let all these other fucks go out there, get sick, and fucking die, I guess.
Yeah, but the problem with that.
It fucking angers me. Yeah, I know the problem with that.
The problem with that is then they would be up here going, oh my God, Fauci, why didn't you tell us about this shit? We had so many deaths because you didn't tell. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right. No, that's exactly right.
So some more information on here, by the way, because I tried to go through and research his claims to an extent before. I got a fair bit before I finally said, wait a minute, fuck it, I give up. So the people who believed the lab incident hypothesis tend to be government officials. So some scientists do, but not a lot. At some point, Rand here is going to bring up, well, the FBI and the CIA, like intelligence agencies, most of them think that this came from this is lab grown, and it's not. The CIA said, yeah, we think it might be, but we don't have any conclusive evidence. The FBI said, yeah, we moderately think it, but we don't have any conclusive evidence. And there were a couple others. There was 4 or 5 in total. And there's 6 or 7. I was like, no, this is fucking natural.
Yeah.
So the opposite of a minority of intelligence agencies said, oh, yeah.
Strange. Yeah.
Let's see. Proponents of this view, though, rely heavily on the coincidence that the pandemic started in Wuhan, which houses the coronavirus research laboratories. They also rely on early reports of illness among lab staff prior to the outbreak and China's early restricted data transparency. Basically, China didn't do any favors here by going, yeah, no, we're not going to share information. But that's not a Fauci thing.
No.
So... yeah, Rand Paul is also going to make some claims about how Fauci funded dangerous gain of funds or gain of function research.
Okay.
Lost years of education. Small businesses built over a lifetime disappeared. Patients delayed cancer screenings and other medical care. Families were separated from dying relatives. Workers were ordered to accept a medical procedure or lose their jobs. Worship assembly, employment, education, and travel were restricted in the name of science.
Who fucking who?
You did not impose every restriction. You used your public authority to justify them. While you concluded publicly that COVID occurred naturally, your private record tells a different story. In early 2020, your hand-picked virologist warned that the virus appeared to have been manipulated in the lab. In a conference call concerning the origin of the virus, all but 2 of the participants believed deliberate insertion was possible. Your concern was not merely theoretical.
Wow.
So to clarify here, early on, in the first couple of days, there were definitely people in Fauci's office who were going, yeah, no, this could have been, in theory, engineered. And then they did more research. And they said, oh, yeah, no, that was an assumption. Looking at the data that we're now seeing, no, it was probably natural.
Yeah.
So this is not a matter of he silenced anybody. This is a matter of, hey, I think this might be man-made, but let's look into it. They looked into it and went, oh, yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. The other problem that I see here at that time is that, a lot of Trump's cronies were heading these departments. And guess who their boogeyman is?
Booga booga.
Yeah. So of course they're going to be like, oh, well, it was grown in a lab. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, no, it's been stupid. Very, very stupid. All right, let's get some more of this.
Great.
You led an urgent effort to determine whether your own agency had funded the research related to these experiments that were now under suspicion. Hours later, your assistant reported that the Wuhan experiments had indeed been reviewed and approved by the NIH. Those were not the actions of officials who believed that a research-related origin was an absurd conspiracy theory. They were the actions of officials urgently trying to determine whether their agency funding was connected to the research under discussion, connected to the pandemic. You could not hide that your agency had funded the Wuhan research.
Okay, so
okay. I'm sorry. This just came to mind.
Okay.
So Rand Paul right now is bloviating about how this was all grown in a lab and how, we had to, the lockdown and everything, wasn't necessary and whatnot.
yeah.
How the fuck does that pencil? Because if you're worried that it was grown in a lab in China, ooga booga booga, wouldn't you want to protect your citizens and be like, hey, everybody fucking stay home and whatnot? You can't have your cake and eat it too in this situation. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you can't. And something else to bring up here. They like to hammer in the idea that, Fauci's NIH paid to fund the research that created COVID.
Yeah.
They like to.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, technically, it was like funding the Wuhan lab indirectly. There's no evidence that the Wuhan lab was, doing this kind of research that created the COVID virus. But basically, the NIH had a grant for EcoHealth Alliance, and that EcoHealth Alliance subcontracted their work to the Wuhan Institute of Virology to study back coronaviruses. So they did this, and hooray, lots of coincidence, but nothing here is, how would I phrase it, concrete.
Yes.
This is just a lot of people looking at this going, well, obviously it has to be. It's like, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't pass the razor test.
No, it does not. So let's see. Now, Rand Paul's full introduction is over 12 minutes.
Good Lord.
Yep. We are 3 minutes into it.
Buckle up, everybody.
We'll see how much further we get before we decide, fuck it, and go to the next one. Because it gets, it gets redundant and stupid.
God, okay.
Or your long history of defending gain-of-function research. The only alternative left was to argue that COVID-19 did not originate in the Wuhan lab. You were not a detached observer. You had an institutional interest in the public believing that federally funded research had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was a conflict of interest from the very beginning. The authors of the proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2 privately had serious doubts about a natural origin. Within days, though, they flipped, and they all wrote in proximal origin that the virus was almost certainly not a laboratory construct. That paper was then used by the government and the media and you to discredit Americans who were asking the same questions that you and the authors were asking yourselves privately. You even cited proximal origin from the White House podium. You held it out as evidence that the virus could not have been engineered, but you didn't disclose your role in the discussions that preceded the writing of the paper. You did not disclose the author's original concerns. You did not reveal that you had been part of the paper.
Again, he didn't reveal the author's original concerns because the author's original concerns weren't really hard concerns. They were, hey, this might be the case. Let's look into it. And upon looking into it, the original author's like, yeah, no, it wasn't an issue.
Yeah. And I'm listening to Ron here and just thinking to my Rand Paul. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, either way, if it was grown in a lab and it escaped, or if it was natural, why are we even fucking sitting here? Either way, don't you want to protect your citizens? Don't you want to, hey, yeah, maybe it's going to be an extreme measure because we don't know anything about it. Why the fuck do we need to sit here in 2026 and have this discussion? Who cares? If it saved lives, then it was worth it, no matter what.
Yeah, no, what they are going to do, by the way, when they get into this, they're going to go on the running theory that Fauci created or was very responsible for creating the COVID virus.
Oh, fuck off.
And so the vaccine didn't do anything, but at the same time, over 1 million Americans died.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
again not catch 22.
Right.
They want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
You had read and offered editorial comments on the paper before it was published, before you began using it as evidence that it couldn't have originated in the lab. You did not disclose that you had immediately investigated yourself whether NIAID funding might be connected to the research. You did not tell the American people the full story. Duly released private messages indicate that the doubts with the authors and others didn't disappear after the publication. So while this was being waived at the White House to show that it couldn't come from the lab, the authors were still privately continuing to assign a meaningful probability to a laboratory origin.
No, they weren't.
Who the fuck cares?
Again,
Who fucking cares?
and again, they weren't. There was no meaningful, like, oh, laboratory origin. No, it was some blind conjecture. And then, oh, yeah, no, we looked into it. No laboratory origin.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Keep going.
Other in private. Some of the same scientists discussed avoiding email and carefully managing communications that might eventually be obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. The pattern is straightforward. Privately, there was...
We didn't fucking know anything in 2020.
So
Why would you? Why? Why would you? See, again, Rand Paul is right now telling me all I need to know, that he does not know how fucking science works. Why would you write up shit? Why would you send conjecture and just thoughts out if you don't really know anything about how the virus worked? Again, we're talking about 2020. We're talking about early 2020. Mm-hmm. We had no fucking idea. Okay? So why would you put stuff out there for the public to possibly induce fucking panic when you don't know how it works?
No, agree.
You understand how the virus maybe travels, but you don't understand what it does once it gets in the human body. You have no idea. You're not researching it. You're researching it through another person in another country, in China, who isn't giving us information either. There's no reason to write this shit.
So a little bit later, fair bit later in this video, one of the sycophants, ass kissers for Trump, is going to bring up a printed up copy of one of the emails where Fauci said, delete this.
Oh, God.
It'll be a while.
Okay.
I think you'll love it.
Great.
Alarm, then an immediate inquiry to see if NIAID's possible exposure to funding, then a rapid public declaration of certainty, continued private doubt, and then years of resistance to disclosure. The question is why? The only logical answer is that your primary concern was avoiding culpability. Your primary concern was hiding the fact that you had approved the funding for this dangerous research.
This is science for idiots.
Yes, this is he's a fucking idiot.
Yep. And he's doing this for other idiots.
Support of gain-of-function research is extensive and long-standing. In 2011, your agency funded Ron Fauci's laboratory when it mutated the avian flu until it could spread through the air between mammals. This was the tipping point. This is when others became worried. You funded this. You advocated for this.
Okay, so what he's referring to a while back, they were doing gain-of-function tests with the avian flu. The purpose of doing these gain-of-functions is to understand how viruses evolve so that we can better track or better provide better countermeasures.
Yeah.
And so they'll bring it up again, but this is an experiment where they took an avian flu that didn't typically go to mammals, and they managed to make it go between ferrets.
Okay.
And oh my God, they were so scared and whatnot. And people were like, well, what happens if this becomes a pandemic? And Fauci's like, well, it's kind of worth the risk. And he wasn't necessarily wrong. He just phrased it in a way where it's like, okay, he's got the grace of a bull in a china shop. But again, he wasn't wrong, because this kind of shit happens. And this is the kind of research that lets us make predictions or accurately provide countermeasures to these viruses.
We've been doing these kind of experiments for fucking decades.
Yes, we have. And we're not right now, because in 2025, Trump put a ban on dangerous gain of function research. And yeah, I'm sure that's going to hold up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's helpful. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The federal government's own biosecurity board, though, recommended withholding the details of these experiments because of the danger the research posed. People were concerned that publishing it was publishing a roadmap to creating bioweapons around the world. But you sided with the gain-of-function scientist Fauci and argued that the benefits of publishing the research far outweighed the risks. You defended this avian flu transmissibility experiments as critical research.
It was.
Wrote that even if a scientist became infected and triggered a pandemic, the benefits of the gain-of-function experiments outweighed the risk. In 2014, your agency, NIAID, began funding the Wuhan bat coronavirus work. In 2015, Ralph Barrick and the Chinese scientist Shi Zhengli published NIAID-supported research combining a bat coronavirus spike protein with a SARS backbone. The resulting virus could infect human airway cells. It's a novel virus that now can infect human cells. It gained transmissibility, it gained function. In 2018, the same group of scientists, EcoHealth, Barrick, Shi, and their collaborators submitted the diffuse proposal, which involved the insertion of a furin cleavage site into the coronavirus.
So at this point, he's just using a bunch of technical jargon that he doesn't really understand, but he also knows that his supporters don't understand. So he's just sitting here going, this sounds right. I'm going to say this.
Yeah. You know, fuck, man. I read too much about shit. But it is funny to me that we are having this discussion about fucking editing viruses and shit when for $300 anybody out there, you and I can buy a CRISPR kit and fucking do the same thing at home, basically.
The world could burn.
The world could burn. See, this is what fucking angers me. Why are we talking about this in 2026? There's so much other thing. There's so much bullshit out there that we can talk about. We can talk about the CRISPR stuff. We can talk about, fucking the lettuce, the outbreak stuff, all this shit we could be talking about. But no, we have to talk about 2020 and the stuff that we did or did not know about. Fucking hooray.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah. Dumb.
DARPA rejected it as too dangerous. When COVID was sequenced, though, early on in January of 2020, within days, scientists discovered that, lo and behold, it had a novel furin cleavage site, just as had been proposed in the Diffuse project.
Which the scientists concluded occurred naturally.
Yeah.
It's either an extraordinary coincidence or a smoking gun. Evidence that the Chinese had created COVID-19.
Oh, fuck.
Okay,
fuck.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Something can be a coincidence or a smoking gun. It can't be both. I mean, I know he's saying it was this or this. It's like, well, it was very clearly coincidence, and it's not a smoking gun. This is coincidence. If this is a smoking gun, you'd be busting down doors and shit.
Yeah.
So.
God. Oh, yeah.
Keep going.
This is so fucking aggravating, but keep going.
Okay.
Made the laboratory origin question more legitimate, and it made your categorical public denials indefensible. On May 11th, 2021, you told the Senate the NIH has never, ever, and does not now fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan, in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. When I gave you the opportunity to correct the record, to reconsider the statement, you responded that you had never before lied to Congress. We were then told that only the government's narrowest regulation of definition counted here, that you could define gain-of-function in one way in which this wasn't gain of function, in which all of the common sense of the world would be thrown out, all of the idea that the mice were dying and the virus was more transmissible didn't matter because you had a technical definition that allowed you to fund it. But the real...
So science runs on technical definitions. So if it technically wasn't gain of function, do you know what it wasn't?
Gain of function?
Exactly. Oh, the horror.
Oh, boy.
The question is, was it dangerous? Was it a wise decision to fund this? And you haven't deviated from that. You've never admitted that it could have been a mistake funding this research in China. The American people weren't asking for a semantics debate over what is gain of function. They were asking, does common sense say this research was dangerous in Wuhan? They wanted to know whether their money-funded experiments in Wuhan that made bat coronaviruses better able to infect...
Hey, Rand, why is my money funding bombing children in Iran? Why is my money funding bombing children in Gaza? Fuck you, Rand.
Now, to be fair, he is a chode.
He is.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Humans. The answer is yes. They wanted to know whether NIAID adequately supervised their work. The answer is no. When you defended this research, you described its benefits in the broadest terms. But when Congress demanded accountability, you hid behind the narrowest possible definition. You can't have it both ways. Your conduct
Neither can
concerning
you.
federal records raises further
But he wants
questions.
to.
It is a crime to destroy federal records. Yet our investigation reveals your
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, hey, Rand. Hey, buddy. Is it a crime to take classified documents and, I don't know, just move them to your personal residence in Mar-a-Lago?
I mean, technically.
It's a technicality, though, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
diligently reported that she deleted tons of emails. And
Okay. So, look.
Oh, God. Yep. Go.
Email servers only have so much storage.
Yeah.
So eventually you have to delete shit. Or you
Okay.
have to,
Yes.
find some way to back it up. And because the
Right.
government funds, things like email servers and things so well, obviously people back it.
Oh,
no,
obviously.
they fucking don't.
Yeah. No.
So,
No.
oh no, the horror.
2024, you testified that you did not delete federal records. Who's telling the truth, you or your assistant? The committee...
Also, Fauci didn't
yeah.
delete these things. His assistant did. They were
Well,
emails.
He told his assistant to fuck off. Yeah. No.
But I mean, again, this is like basic maintenance of your emails.
Right.
This is not like nefarious shit.
Yeah.
obtained repeated instructions from you telling federal officials to delete communications. On February 2nd, 2020, one day after Origin's call, you told Francis Collins, please delete this email after you read it. The committee asked for your voluntary cooperation to come today. Your appearance had to be compelled by subpoena.
Okay, so that email,
God.
that specific email where it said, please delete after reading. Guess how much it had to do with COVID research or anything classified?
Oh, God. 0%.
That is technically exactly correct.
There's that word again.
I know. So that email that he was referring to, basically Fauci was emailing with some of his staff, and he was talking about some of the people they were working with the World Health Organization. Mm-hmm. And he basically said, okay, look, if we can get around these people, because look, they're really smart, they're really good, but God Almighty, they are slow.
Yes.
By the way, please delete this email. I do not need them knowing this. He was being polite. It was just kind of like, it was an honest critique of some people that they had to work with across the pond in the World Health Organization. And then it was like, and I know this isn't really something that's a professional thing to say, or at least it sounds kind of rude. Please erase this email afterwards. Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Today under duress. You are here today because of the court ordering it. President Biden issued you a sweeping pardon extending back to 2014.
Yep.
The same pardon he gave to his son Hunter. A pardon may protect a person from criminal prosecution, doesn't rewrite history. It does not erase documents. It does not convert a misleading statement into a truthful one. And it does not prevent Congress from establishing what happened. There will be another pandemic. There will be another crisis. And there will again be officials who insist that uncertainty must be hidden for the public's own good.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, go.
This pandemic was man-made.
Yeah.
So if they stop Fauci, then why is there going to be another pandemic? There's nobody man-making these, right?
Yeah. Weird.
I mean, obvious, bullshit aside. I mean, it's
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he wants both sides of that coin.
Yep.
They will demand obedience. They will invoke science. I am the science, as though it were a commandment. They will argue.
I am the science, he says with a raised fist.
Science does not care
Nope.
whether or not you believe in it.
Nope.
And that's what I have such a hard time with these people. It's like, no, this is the way that X works. X does not care whether or not you believe in it or not, because X will equal Y no matter what. So it doesn't matter what you think. It's going to happen. Oh, by the way, and this is something that we've researched literally for, I don't know, decades, hundreds of years. It has always done the same thing. We know it so well that it does this and it causes this. So I don't give a shit, Rand, what you think. A virus is going to find ways to spread because that's what they do. It doesn't have to be grown in a lab. It doesn't have to be a natural thing. This is what viruses do. We know this. Shut the fuck up.
That government officials cannot be questioned because questioning them would undermine public trust. They have it backwards. It is secrecy that destroys trust. It is arrogance that destroys trust. It is censorship that destroys trust. And it is
everything your fucking administration is doing.
Trust. That loss of trust may be your most damaging legacy. Trust can't be ordered. It has to be earned.
No, there's a lot of projection with this.
Oh, yeah. I want this to be the other way around. I can't wait for this to be the other way around. I want Rand Paul sitting in that fucking chair pleading the fifth 150 times. That's what I want to see.
I think it'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Yep.
No scientist is above scrutiny, no government official is beyond accountability, and no public servant has the right to treat the suffering of millions of Americans as a footnote to his preferred version of history.
Okay, so there's Rand. Next
Thank
up,
God. Okay.
Next up, we have one of the only Democrats I'm going to have on here. Well, the only Democrat I'm going to have on here because I don't count Fauci one way or the other. And I didn't even do his whole thing because, again, a lot of it is good, but it's redundant.
Okay.
The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee has a long and a very proud history of conducting serious oversight on behalf of the American people. When this committee has been at its best, Democrats and Republicans have worked together to investigate complicated issues, to follow the facts wherever they may lead, and produce recommendations that actually strengthen our nation's security and improve government functions. That bipartisan tradition has produced meaningful work following Hurricane Katrina, the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, failures at the Secret Service, and countless other matters. Unfortunately, today's hearing is the latest step in the chairman's sharp departure from that long tradition. This hearing appears to be a culmination of months of biased and selected efforts by the majority under the guise of the committee investigation to basically legitimize a predetermined conclusion that was reached years ago. In 2021, the chairman has called for today's witness to be fired, to be arrested, accused him of leading cover-ups and conspiracies. He has even featured the witness prominently in fundraising emails and on the cover of his book. He has also called for the cancellation of the witness's security detail, despite the fact the witness and his family have received numerous credible.
So you're telling me that Rand Paul is making money off of all of this?
I'm not telling you that.
See, this is why I want Rand Paul in Fauci's seat. How can you do this to Fauci when you have a fucking book that features him, that you make money off of, that you campaign off of, that you bring in money off of? That should be fucking illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Death threats. When I served as chairman, Senator Paul and I launched a bipartisan biosecurity investigation that included oversight of risky research and the origins of COVID-19, because we agreed that the committee's work would be stronger if we did it in a bipartisan manner and just followed the facts. That was and continues to be an area of legitimate and certainly needed oversight. As chairman, Senator Paul has taken the opposite approach. He has abandoned longstanding practice by blocking minority participation in committee oversight actions and has chosen to selectively release committee records that the minority has never had any access to in order to support his pre-drawn conclusions. The chairman has repeatedly excluded committee's minority and withheld documents and evidence from members that are entitled to receive them.
Because they're fascists.
Well, yeah, they are.
Yeah, of course he doesn't want the minority to have anything. He wants it all his way. Oh, fuck him.
And Rand will address this.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear Rand again.
Yep.
Standing Senate rules and committee precedent that have preserved the credibility of our oversight in this committee for decades. I have raised these concerns directly with the chairman because it's not just what we investigate that matters, but how we conduct that investigation. That also matters. One-sided investigations designed to validate predetermined conclusions do not serve the American people.
Nope.
Who sent us to actually uncover the truth and to solve problems. I wrote to the chairman requesting that he adhere to committee rules. But instead of addressing concerns that I raised, he removed part of the committee's website from the public view. This move not only prevented the public from being able to view those lists of concerns, it adds serious questions about the desire for transparency and legitimate oversight of this matter.
Which is going to be a big reoccurring theme because Rand Paul and them are just like, Fauci wasn't transparent.
Yeah. They're not transparent. Rand Paul is fucking making money off of this. That's all you fucking need to know.
Yeah, he is.
He's making money off of this.
He is. So, okay.
Okay.
The accusation that the committee has denied access to the minority to records is categorically false. This
is it now?
Transparent investigation in the history of Congress. We actually created a website, and we put all of the information on the website. It continues to operate. The reason it hasn't been accessed is no Democrat ever signed up for it. Not one Democrat. We told them the access. They never asked for the access code. They haven't been on the website because they have not.
I hate this. They all fucking do this. They all fucking do this.
Oh, they do.
They all do this. It's the same fucking body language. It's the same hardy har har attitude. Like, oh, not one Democrat, not one signed up for it. Fuck you.
No, it's like not one asked for it and we gave it to them. It's like, well, which is it? Did they ask for it or did you give it to them? Because if you gave it to them, they don't need to ask for it.
Right.
So yeah, he's an idiot.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, I believe, is Fauci, and then after Fauci, we get into shit.
Okay, I'll buckle up, I guess.
Member Peters, members of the committee, I served at the NIH for over 54 years, 38 of those as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Over that period, I proved that I believe in and respect the value of legitimate congressional oversight. In fact, I testified before and or briefed Senate and House Senate and House committees well over 200 times over those 38 years.
Okay, so just something to point out here.
Okay.
This man is 85.
I was going to say, that dude doesn't look a day over 60.
But I mean, no, it's like he's 85. And it's like if some people like he's stumbling over his tongue, well, first off, no, he's barely stumbling over his own tongue. He's very well spoken. Yeah. And again, he's like 4 or 5 years older than Trump, and he looks amazing comparatively. Like, again, you said he doesn't look a day over 65.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Weird.
During and after the COVID pandemic, I have appeared multiple times for hearings in the Senate and the House, usually under oath, and sat for several days-long transcribed sworn interviews, answering questions about the very issues that are now the subject of this hearing. However, given Senator Paul's obvious obsession with calling for my prosecution, his repeated slanderous comments about me, and recently his publicly releasing my unredacted personal diary aimed at embarrassing and intimidating me, the only conclusion I can reach is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything, that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars.
So something to bring up, too, with the diary. The diary is over 1,000 pages. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's notes and such. These idiots are going to try to go, oh, look, you said this in the diary, and how is this a contradiction? It's like, okay, first off, it's a diary. It's not a scientific journal. So it's not it's not uncommon for things where it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is the case, but I will air my, like any potential little doubts I might have here. I will air that. That doesn't mean he lied. There is no conflict of interest there. And some of these idiots are going to use this as, well, you said here that you were enjoying the fame or blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, he didn't really. He just pointed out that, I'm like the most famous person in the country right now because he was the fucking medical director during a fucking pandemic.
Also, like, it's a personal diary. Humans are, we are a hypocritical bunch. And even if we're not trying to be, it's like a diary. He can say something in March and then say something else in fucking December. And it doesn't mean it's necessarily hypocritical. It's just that's what his thought was at the time.
So something else that made me laugh so much. Apparently it was in the diary. It does not get brought up in here.
Okay.
But apparently in the diary, there's a part where he was talking with Obama, and Obama, in much more polite language, said, Trump's a fucking moron. Fauci, in his diary, numerous times called Trump a moron, an idiot, all kinds of fun stuff. And what they will not touch on from the diary is that a lot of Fauci's diary was talking about how it was such a pain in the ass to keep Trump on focus when talking about the pandemic. So
weird.
It's like, okay, we have an announcement about the pandemic. Trump would get up there, and Fauci would have to try to corral him back because Trump would go off on some tangent because the pandemic shit was boring to him. Yeah.
Because it wasn't about him.
No, it wasn't. And they don't really bring that up in this. Go figure.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh, weird.
So after... Sorry, I interrupted.
Yep. Go ahead.
Cool. So after Fauci is done with his statement, I don't have any more Fauci audio. And the reason is because anytime he speaks, he's basically saying, I invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment.
Good.
So.
Unquote. Any reasonable person who has followed his unhinged obsession with me would readily come to the same conclusion. Therefore, although it pains me to do so, because of the respect I have for the legislative branch of government and my decades-long record of cooperating with Congress, under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions. Thank you.
Okay. So we are now about halfway through that video.
Okay.
And this is where it's going to get messy.
God, I thought it already was, but here we go.
Well, now there's more than Rand Paul.
Great. Okay.
There's also Rand Paul.
A round of questioning. Dr. Fauci, your testimony today is compelled by a lawful subpoena. As you know, it's a crime under 18 U.S.C. Section 1001 to knowingly make a material false statement to Congress.
Okay.
Which is why he's going to plead the Fifth.
Exactly. That right there. This whole thing, he's basically admitting or reminding this is a perjury trap.
Yeah.
We can't get you necessarily for the shit that we claim you did during COVID. However, if we can get you to say something that isn't technically correct because you're 85 and people's memories are fallible, and we can say, look, he lied, I can arrest you for that because that's illegal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right there. He's saying the quiet part out loud.
Right. And then he's going to get pissy because he's not getting an answer.
Well, he will actually have more... decorum, I guess, than the other ones.
Well,
yeah.
Still, fuck him.
With a penalty up to 5 years of imprisonment.
Oh, go fuck
Understanding
yourself.
that you are under oath, the American people would like to understand your reasoning, your rationale for why you chose to fund the research in Wuhan. There have been intelligence agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, have all come to the conclusion that more likely than not, the virus came from the lab in Wuhan.
No, that's not a fucking conclusion, you motherfucker.
And again, he's touting like the CIA, FBI, all these where it's like they did not conclude that it came from there. They said it's possible, but they don't have any concrete evidence. And
that's not a conclusion.
And the majority of our intelligence agencies, ones he didn't name, said, no, this was natural.
Yeah, good.
So, you know, it's not like he's trying to fudge the story a lot.
Yeah,
Dr. Fauci, did the CIA ever transfer funds to NIH under an interagency agreement? The reason why these questions are important is, you know, President Trump has done a ban, and we're glad that he did it, a ban on gain-of-function research. So we're better off than we were.
Oh, are we?
We had an advocate serving as head of NIAID, an advocate for gain-of-function research. There is still, though, a question, though, whether or not the intelligence community is adhering to that order.
Okay. So I do apologize because there's a lot of stuff here where it's like Fauci would say I plead the Fifth and blah, blah, blah. And it just cuts right back to Paul. So it sounds like Paul's just going on one long rant. But this whole thing here where he brings up, you know, Trump put an end to the gain of function research. He's asking about the CIA. Trump put an end to gain of function research by executive order in 2025. And then it was made more official in 2026. Fauci wasn't the head of the NIH in 2025.
Weird.
So Rand asking this is kind of stupid because it's like, was the CIA doing this? It's like, the fuck would I know?
He wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm not there anymore. So it's like you're asking, have they been doing this since Trump signed the executive order? Fuck if I know.
Yeah. Who the fuck knows? Why don't you go fucking ask somebody who knows? But instead, as we know, Rand just has a hard-on for Fauci.
Yep. Kind of creepy.
Yeah, a little bit.
The chairman has denied your assertion of privilege and directed you to answer, but you nonetheless refuse and stand on privilege despite the existence of the pardon.
So basically he's bitching about you're calling the Fifth or pleading the Fifth.
Yeah.
So
I'm mad that the Constitution allows you to do this.
Yeah.
The committee will have to consider after this hearing what appropriate action should be taken against you for the failure to testify after being directed to do so. It's against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress.
But
there will be repercussions.
You fucking shithead. Fuck you. The man wasn't fucking there, as you said, in 25-26.
Yeah.
He has a constitutional fucking right under the Fifth Amendment to not perjure himself.
No, he does.
So fucking Rand can fuck right the fuck off. And this is kind of why I want Rand arrested and put in Fauci's place.
No,
because I want to know what the fuck Rand has done.
No, I think it would be very interesting to see what's going on with that. But here's the other thing. All of this Senate hearing and whatnot, this could have been taken care of via a fucking deposition.
Good God, yeah.
And nope, no deposition. We had to bring this in front of the Senate, televise it. No, just do a closed deposition and then release the audio later or the video.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do that. Of course, the last time, I'm sure they've had other depositions, but the last time I recall there was a deposition issue, Hillary was the one in the hot seat, figuratively speaking. And that was one where, oh God, it was one of the Ditzes. Was it the one who gave the hand job for Beetlejuice or during
Jesus
the Beetlejuice? Yeah, no, there was one of them where they're doing this deposition and they have these very set rules. And the lady like tweeted a picture of Hillary in the deposition and then it made it onto the phone. Hillary's like, what the fuck is going on here? You can't even obey your own goddamn rules. And yeah, it was just funny because it's this MAGA lady who talks so much shit. But as soon as it was made apparent, it's like, oh, I fucked up. She was very, very not alpha lady.
Yeah.
So, all right, continuing with Paul.
God, okay.
Refusal to testify today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, now we've got
Oh, great.
next one. This is Senator Johnson.
Oh, good.
Dr. Fauci, I hope the American people listen very carefully to Chairman Paul's opening statement. I think it's a stunning indictment of the actions you've taken that have been so destructive to global health.
He's basically looking for that a boy from Paul and is trying to, through the fact of, I am also a senator. I am saying that this is what happened. Therefore, you cannot question that this is what happened.
Yeah.
He's trying to pad the story.
Ugh, God, they all need to be taken down a peg.
Yep.
Certainly understand why you needed a pardon. I certainly understand why, on the advice of counsel, you're not answering any questions, because I think it'd be almost impossible for you to answer the questions truthfully. I was warned pretty early on about the dangers of the experimental gene therapy. You've called a vaccine, but it really falls under the definition of gene therapy.
What the fuck is this?
I was going to ask you, I mean, were you
Jesus
carefully
Christ.
Yeah, no.
What the fuck are we doing? This is a fucking circus. Listeners, okay, you can't see what's going on, and man, I really wish you could right now. But there is some asshole that has a fucking billboard behind this guy. And John, please explain to me what is going on.
I shall try. So,
okay,
on this presentation piece of cardboard, it says drug adverse event comparison, FDA and CDC data worldwide, and it has adverse effects, deaths per year for ivermectin, HCQ, flu vaccines, dextromethasone, Tylenol, remdesivir, and the COVID vaccines. And here's where this is going to get funny. I don't necessarily remember if this asshole himself is the one who brings it up, but somebody's going to bring up VAERS. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of this information for the COVID vaccines is going to come from VAERS, the vaccine adverse event or effects reporting site, whatever. And I've said this before. I will say it again, and probably say it again during this episode. VAERS is not a scientific reporting mechanism. VAERS is a mechanism where any fucking moron can go onto it and make a report, whether or not it's true, whether or not there's any factual basis in it. So any adverse effects to vaccines that anybody says, well, yeah, I think this happened, you can go on VAERS and report it. And I shit you not, during the pandemic, when you had all of these cocksucking little shits who are going on there going, oh, that vaccine, it's killing people. You would go on there and, oh, look, it's killing infants. Okay, first off, infants don't get the vaccine. You can't get the vaccine till like 2 years old. So it's like, oh, a newborn got it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you had some where it's like, oh, yes, this is being reported as a vaccine death because they got the vaccine and 24 hours later they died from gunshot wounds. But it made it on VAERS because they had the fucking vaccine. Yeah. So again, VAERS itself, the purpose of VAERS is for scientists to be able to go on it and go, okay, we can leaf through this. We can weed out the bullshit. And is there anything on here that looks like this might be a legitimate concern? Unfortunately, you have a lot of fucking idiots who will go on there because it's available to the public, and they will freak the fuck out going, oh my God, look at all of these deaths based on they got these vaccines. And it doesn't work that way. You have a lot of people, again, who they got the vaccine and then maybe they got injured or maybe they died. And in a manner that has no way, shape, or form any fucking relation to the fact that they got a vaccine.
Yeah.
So
also, I find it funny that this asshole holding this sign, it says FDA and CDC data worldwide.
Yeah. It's a
so
little
we're
bit.
Not even talking the United States. Also, from that fucking billboard that this asshole is holding up, and I'm going to call him an asshole because he is.
Yeah.
It says that Tylenol has caused over 42,000 deaths a year.
No, hold on. Is that because it's hard to tell on this? Is that
sorry.
Is that per year or is that grand total?
That's the grand total.
Okay.
But even so, so it's not per year, but that's the grand total. But then you look at the COVID vaccine, and it looks like we should outlaw Tylenol because Tylenol has caused more deaths worldwide than the COVID vaccine does.
Yep.
Go fuck these motherfuckers.
Exactly. All right, back into the thick of it.
Great.
Monitoring the safety surveillance systems like VAERS and VSafe that literally were deluged with complaints.
Sorry, I love the way he says deluged. Deluged. It's his accent's charm.
Yeah.
Currently, worldwide, there have been almost 1.7 million adverse events reported to the VAERS system. Of those, over 39,000 were deaths. And of those deaths, 24% occur on the day of vaccination within 1 or 2 days.
Talk to me about Tylenol.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
24%, which, by the way, just happens to be the same percentage that a Rasmussen poll, 24% of the American public believe they know somebody who died.
Don't you fucking give me Rasmussen polls. Fuck you.
Yeah. No, he's got some shit he's spewing.
Right-wing trolls over there at Rasmussen.
Mm-hmm.
Of the experimental gene therapy. It was not my responsibility to follow safety surveillance systems, but I did.
Yeah, it wasn't your responsibility because you're not a medical professional. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. What else was this asshole talking about? God, it blurs together so much. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is actual government information. When I published it and people had me on their shows, they would be censored by Facebook. They would be deplatformed.
People have you on your shows.
So
weird.
So let me
making money off of this?
Well, not necessarily making money, but just to keep in mind. He went on platforms. He spewed a bunch of bullshit that was debunked. So stuff that was false. And it got deplatformed because he was spewing false bullshit.
Yep.
And yet he's crying freedom of speech bullshit.
Yeah.
Largely at the behest of the actions you took to make sure that disinformation wasn't spread. This wasn't disinformation. This was the truth. Next area I want to go through is in that same month of March 2021, an employee at NIH, Dr. Nath, led a team of researchers who were diagnosing and treating individuals who'd never had COVID but were severely injured by the genetic therapy injections.
Okay, so to keep in mind, and I know you know this, Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
The COVID vaccines were not genetic therapy. They did not change your genetic code. It was messenger RNA. Didn't change anything. All it did was it had a little protein that your cells would consume while using this protein to make similar proteins to the COVID virus that your antibodies would then accumulate to. No DNA was changed. So again, fucking moron. This thing with Nash also is this is going to crack me up, or at least it does crack me up, because what he's getting at is this guy named Nash would, it's like, okay, we have reported vaccine injuries, and he told people to keep quiet on it. That's not entirely what he did. We had these people who were saying, I got injured by the vaccine. And what he was saying is, all right, let's be patient. We'll get you treatment, but let's be patient so we can figure out, was it really the vaccine?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I also just want to put this out here. We've been using mRNA vaccines for over 30 years.
Yeah.
This is not new. This is not new technology.
Well, the technology has been worked on for over 30 years.
It's been, yeah, sure, it has. We've been using it. We've been experimenting with it. It has never been a problem until, surprise, surprise, now, when dumbasses with no science degree hear, oh, this is mRNA? Oh, it's messing with your DNA. No, it's not messing with your DNA, you fucking dipshit. We've been using this shit forever to stop viruses from fucking attacking your cells by what you said, by telling your cells, hey, make this protein so this doesn't latch on to us.
Well,
okay, cool, great.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's not you make a protein so it doesn't latch on to you. It's to make a protein. It's basically your body's creating little dummies of the virus that your system can train itself on.
Sure.
And I'm not doing that to say, dude, get it fucking right.
No, I know.
Yeah, I'm doing that because I want to make sure technically we're correct on that.
Okay.
All right, shall we continue with Senator Johnson?
Yep.
Okay.
Dr. Nath told those individuals, stay quiet. We want to make sure that we gather all the information and then release it to doctors so they can treat people like yourself. There was a concerted effort, and I'll enter this in the record. It appears inside NIH to quash Dr. Nath's publishing of that study. It finally was put on a preprint server with telling no one you were really concerned about remdesivir because it was untested, but hydroxychloroquine, yeah, it was an approved drug. Maybe some safety issues, but we had a great deal of experience with it.
I was checking to see if this guy has stock or anything in hydroxychloroquine because the way he pushes this, he fondles its balls like crazy.
So does he?
No idea. Couldn't find anything.
Okay.
So for all I know, he could have some stock in hydroxychloroquine. And
would not surprise me.
I mean, he also might not. Don't know. But
sure.
Here's the thing, too. Hydroxychloroquine was not proved ever to do anything with COVID. It was ineffective.
All of a sudden, you had the Surgisphere study. It was retracted within 2 weeks because it was completely false. Totally blew up the use of hydroxychloroquine. And then when it comes to ivermectin, I was contacted by so many people. I referred them to doctors who actually had the courage and compassion to treat vaccine-injured individuals. It works. But
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. And doctors that had the courage to treat these vaccine-injured individuals basically quacks.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you whether you were involved in the FDA attack on ivermectin. You had a interview on CNN on August 29th, 2021, where, again, I just don't want to take time to find the exact quote. But
I love it. I don't want to take time to find the exact quote.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of an ongoing theme with some of the stuff that happens.
That's some hard-hitting cross-examination, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I don't want to find the exact quote, so I'm just gonna bloviate again.
Yep.
Said there's no evidence that ivermectin is helpful. On that exact same day, and I've got the studies right here, there was a website that was tracking the random controlled studies. Here they are, showing 60-70% efficacy of ivermectin.
I like that. Here
Look
they
at those
are.
papers. Looks like a whole page has just been printed red.
I know. No, I like that. Here they are. They're right here. You know what this is reminding me of? Alex Jones.
Oh yeah, Look at the
Substacks I have. Look at these stacks. I have papers of stacks.
I got so many stackies.
This is, and he doesn't get into them. He doesn't name them.
No, yeah, that's why I said, I was like, there could be anything in there. There could be a fucking just page full of Fruit Loops for all we know.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
I mean, page 85 could be the measurements to February's model of the month. Who the fuck knows?
Who knows? Wow, Jesus, God, Christ, John. Okay.
Same day you say there's no evidence. There was all kinds of evidence. But let me end on this note because...
He has so many papers. I have so much evidence.
Yeah, and
whatever.
And he doesn't get into any of it.
Yep.
just came to light. We've got 11 million pages of documents. We also have other people who were in the room.
Most of them are blank.
You lied to your own diary. On March 27, 2020, you wrote in your diary,
Oh,
to my
God.
surprise yesterday, the POTUS sent a letter to governors outlining a plan to reopen county by county while monitoring the spread of virus in low-risk counties. This was half-baked and never shown to Deb or I before it was sent out. So we have evidence that, in fact, you were fully aware of it and certainly approved it, if not authored it. So I was just simply asking you, I mean, is that true? I mean, did you literally lie to your own diary? Did you know of that letter sent out to governors about reopening county by county? Again,
Mr. Morgan, did you lie to your own diary?
Okay, so I have two sides to this. The first side is I believe that you should never keep a diary.
Fair.
Don't do it. Don't write down anything. Keep it all in your own fucking head. The other part of me is like, okay, look, if you're going to keep a diary because you are the head of the CDC or some other organization, just, I don't know, fucking hide it somewhere. Put it in a fucking shoebox and bury it in your backyard. Like, why? It's only whenever I hear somebody has kept a diary, it is always followed with, and then it caused problems.
Yeah. I mean, it's not generally wrong. So, but
I mean, yeah.
But here's the other thing too. With this specific diary, a lot of the stuff in here doesn't support the bullshit they're saying.
Right. And it also goes back to what I was saying, when we started up, where it's like we are hypocritical of ourselves sometimes. Like, we have to acknowledge that you and I, when I go to bed at night, I have to acknowledge to myself that I am a human, that I can say one thing one day and firmly believe it, and not realize that I said it, and then 4 months later, firmly believe in something that's completely the opposite. There may be a railroad of how I got there, but, if you put that in a diary, you don't see that road that people go down to land at another conclusion. So of course it can look like, well, he said this in March, but then he said it in September like this, so what's going on? It's like, well, because there were months in between then.
Yep.
So yeah, all of this is just a huge witch hunt.
It is.
And like I said, there's other things we could be talking about, but we're not talking about those, which is weird.
Nope, we are not.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd ask you to ask the witness to just answer that one simple question.
No.
I like that. It's that one simple question. And you know what he said?
Plead the fifth.
Exactly.
Senator Lankford.
Oh, God.
Okay, this guy I had on here for he's a Republican.
He looks like it.
But so I cut almost all of his stuff with Fauci.
Okay.
Not because it was so offensive. He was actually one of the more, what's the term I'm thinking of? Cordial, polite people. And he was definitely made like some assish points. But there's one reason why I kept this little snippet here.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Dr. Fauci, thanks for coming today. I know you're invoking your Fifth Amendment right, which you have the right to be able to do constitutionally.
Yes,
Okay.
He sure does.
He sure does. That's going to come up later.
Oh, no.
Okay. Next is a douche again.
Dr. Fauci, I want to close with this.
Oh,
Here's how you impacted my family and people close to me.
Oh, yeah. So Senator Scott had a lot of dumb shit. And the only thing that was really impactful or like worth going on is his closing statement.
okay.
So let's listen to this bald fuck.
I have daughters with children. You can't imagine the questions they had around vaccines for their kids. And
I mean, it's pretty simple. Vaccines help prevent illness.
Talk to your fucking doctor.
Yeah.
What?
I don't see why this is an issue. They had questions.
Hey, you know what? Okay, during COVID, you want to know who I didn't talk to? My fucking parents about whether or not I should get the vaccine. You know who I did talk to? Fucking doctors.
Yeah.
Themselves. And the pressure, the unbelievable pressure to make the right decision for their health. I can tell you pregnant women who worked with me were so scared because every time they went to the doctor, they were told something different about taking the vaccine. And
because we fucking did.
Yeah. Well, we were learning stuff, but also I'm wondering, when they went to the doctors, did they go to the same doctors? Were those doctors competent? Because every time I went to my doctor, granted, I was not a pregnant woman.
True.
But every time I went to my doctor and they would talk about vaccines, my doctor gave me some fairly consistent fucking information about the COVID vaccines.
Yeah, mine did too.
Yeah. So I don't know what doctors these ladies are going to, if this is even a real thing and he's, not talking out of his ass.
Imagine being a mom trying to protect their kids, or an expectant mother trying to figure out what to do. Every 3 weeks, a doctor tells you a new set of guidance on a vaccine. The haphazard information you released and pushed on the American people with little research is appalling.
Like, again, it's not that there was little research. It was a new fucking pandemic.
I can't believe how fucking dense these assholes are.
Intentionally.
Because, okay, I have, and during 2020, 2021, I had a young child. And you know what I did with the information? I fucking listened to it.
Yep.
And because I read a lot, and I am definitely not a scientist, but I definitely read a lot of scientific stuff. And that was good for me, because then I was able to come to conclusions based on what not only my own doctors have said, but what other doctors were saying. And that was, hey, you need to separate. You need to social distance. You need to do all this. And while it may not, be totally foolproof, this is what you should mask up. You should do all this stuff. And we fucking did that. And these assholes and people like them were always like, well, I still want to take my kids to the park. I'm doing that. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't take my kid to the fucking park.
Yeah.
We stayed home. We played games at home. He ran outside in the backyard. Yeah. He rode his bike. He did all this shit. There was never, ever an issue like, oh man, can you believe this? We have to fucking stay at home. It was fucking Shangri-La for us. I'm sorry. Okay? It was wonderful. And that's the problem I have with these people. They just didn't care about the science. They were selfish assholes who wanted to still do their own thing. For what? It was like a couple weeks, where we're like, hey, we don't know what's going on. Just stay home for like a few weeks, Really? A few weeks. That got you all twisted up.
Yeah.
And then when it went on for months, nobody ever said, well, hey, it's now fucking, end of 2020, you still can't just go visit your parents. Nobody fucking said that. Nobody did. You could go do that. We visited our parents. Guess what? I wore a mask. They wore a mask. We still did shit. These are selfish assholes that are just mad that they couldn't do what they wanted to do for a month or two.
And why there's so much distrust in our institutions today.
Fuck you.
That trust is crucial to public health, and you, more than any person or event in my lifetime, have destroyed that trust for millions of Americans.
Wow.
You lied to hundreds of millions of people amid the worst public health crisis in a century.
So
you're a liar, Senator Scott.
He absolutely is. And keep in mind, a lot of the distrust we have for things like vaccines come from anti-vax bullshit that this guy is now lapping up because his supporters lap it up. Doesn't matter if it's based on bullshit. What matters is it gets him votes.
Right.
You failed to follow your own guidance. You force people to watch their loved ones die alone over the phone. It's disgusting. You destroy the federal government's credibility when it comes to public health. We have entire generations of Americans who, rightfully so, do not trust our institution to keep people safe because of you.
Because they're idiots.
I hate this man for what he just said, because in 2017, and I remember this vividly, or 2018, my son was born. And you know what I couldn't do? You know what his mother couldn't do? Enter the fucking NICU to be with him. Now, why would I not be allowed to see my son in the NICU? Well, because in April and May of 2018, there was a major influenza outbreak. And the doctors and nurses were saying, hey, you can't be in here. These are vulnerable newborns that cannot get sick. So you have to stay outside.
Yeah.
Now, people like Senator Scott are fucking assholes because they forget about that shit. They didn't care back then that people like me couldn't see their kid in the NICU, or mom and dad couldn't be in the NICU together to see their kid. No. It's all about this fucking COVID and how they were told all of a sudden they couldn't do it. They don't give a shit about you and I.
No.
And that's what angers me so much about these fat fucks.
And here's the other thing, though. You still followed through with it. You didn't bitch.
I still did.
You didn't bitch, piss, or moan about it because, medically, that was pretty much a valid reason why the doctors were saying you can't do this.
Right. And again, I understood the fucking science of it all. Like, okay, maybe I don't understand the minutia, but I fucking understand, if I cough, then fucking droplets will be in the air and they could get a kid sick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that to happen, so I will gladly stand outside while his mom is in there visiting, wearing a mask, by the way. Weird, you know? Like, this is what fucking enrages me. Because again, these are selfish, narcissistic pricks who do not care. At the end of the day, they do not care.
No, they don't. All right, let's continue.
This has destroyed decades of progress and lifetimes of work because you wanted to fuel your own ego and be the center of attention.
What the fuck are you doing right now?
Oh, yeah, no, they're going to start doing a little bit more of the you were high off of your own fame stuff.
God damn it.
Today, Dr. Fauci.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Sorry, I had
all
it
the
once.
evidence is right here, and you still can't bring yourself to tell the truth or apologize because you received an auto-pin pardon from a staffer in the Biden White House.
Oh.
If we have another pandemic tomorrow,
millions right now.
Huh?
What's Mitch McConnell doing right now with auto-pen?
Oh, boy. Living.
Yeah, let's not bring that up.
He's living, apparently.
Oh, he'll be dead on the 4th, guarantee you.
Yeah.
Because of
We'll
what you
see.
did. What you did to make Americans lose trust in their government when it comes to medicine and health care. How many families have you apologized to had to watch their loved ones die alone? You breached public trust, and now you're hiding behind a fraudulent pardon. Your legacy will not be as a man that saved America from COVID, but as a man who destroyed the public trust in America's public health institutions in exchange for 5 minutes of fame.
I'm pretty sure he'll be remembered as, a man who helped fight off COVID.
And I'm pretty sure that Senator Scott will be remembered as a huge douchebag.
True.
This is how history will remember you. I yield back.
Okay. So there's Scott. We got, I think, one or two more.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, nothing says honesty like taking the Fifth.
Oh, this guy's a tool.
I hate this man.
Already. No, this is
Yes.
Senator Hawley.
I hate this man.
This
guy is a fucking Nazi.
Just have curiosity. Do you hate him because you know about him, or do you hate him because you just see him like this and go, fuck it, I hate him?
No, I hate him because I know about him.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
So he is an antagonistic tool during this.
Yep.
He will have that very, how to phrase it? It's not quite the same caliber, but it very much reminds me of Nick Fuentes.
Oh,
the actual Nazi.
Uh-huh.
So let's get into this diaper stain.
Oh, okay.
Doc, let's try something. What day of the week is it today? What color tie are you wearing? What color's the carpet in front of you? Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Okay, you know what he just said?
Yes, he does.
You know what he just said?
He doesn't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment.
I know you're invoking your Fifth Amendment right, which you have the right to be able to do constitutionally.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Sorry, I told you that would come back up. So yeah, that just cracks me up. And what they're going off of with this idea that Fauci doesn't have the right to invoke his Fifth Amendment rights is he's been pardoned. So if you've been pardoned, technically you're found guilty, but there's no potential there for criminal prosecution. So you don't have the right to not incriminate yourself.
Yeah.
And again, that's like in many ways that could work. But in this instance, it doesn't really, because these guys aren't looking for information based on the pardon. They're looking for any kind of slip up that they can pounce on.
Yes.
So yeah, pleading the Fifth in this regard absolutely legally works. By the way, much earlier in the video, I edited it out.
Okay.
And I still recommend people go in and check on this. Fauci has more than a few lawyers in there behind him. One of his lawyers was kicked out of the room.
Okay.
So the reason why the lawyer was kicked out of the room, I believe, had something to do with Rand Paul saying, well, you don't have a Fifth Amendment right. And the lawyer decided to speak up, and Rand Paul took that as, you have not been invited here to speak. You need to shut up or leave. And the lawyer wasn't trying to speak in regards of, no, I'm telling you what happened for my client. The lawyer is trying to tell him he does have a Fifth Amendment right. That's it. And Rand Paul had him removed.
Also, I want to bring up that their God King invoked the Fifth Amendment 450 times when he was under oath for his business practices.
Yep.
So they can all get fucked.
Absolutely.
You've been pardoned, as you very well know, as the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more. Brown versus Walker, 1896. When he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege.
Yeah, it's some white trash there. Smarmy white trash.
All right. Yeah. Keep going.
You know that. Your lawyer is sitting behind you now, shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people.
Okay, hold on. Contempt, though, is about the law.
Yes.
So, okay, fine. He's an idiot with meticulous hair.
He is an idiot.
But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic, you got rich, didn't you? You got rich while people were dying. Hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's...
Your fucking senators, your fucking president is making millions and billions of dollars, on the stock market right now.
Hand over fist, and with crypto and other shit.
I want all of these people prosecuted. I don't care who they are. I want them prosecuted. And I will vote for whoever that person is that runs against these fucks that says exactly what I am saying. I will prosecute everybody. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They have my vote.
All right, let's continue with this diaper stain.
Great.
You were getting rich, and not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic.
Okay, so you remember how that one guy had the billboard things behind him?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if it's this guy or the next, but one of them is going to have more billboardy shit.
Fuck off. Okay.
Didn't you? That's a question. You remember Greg Folkers? Who was that? Your chief of staff is the answer. Do you remember Patricia Conrad? Who was that? She was your personal assistant. And what were these individuals doing in the depth of the pandemic in November of 2020 when millions of Americans were suffering from COVID? What were they doing? I tell you what they're doing. Folkers was on your behalf soliciting and gathering information for a cash award. Let's look at it. We've got his email right here. Folkers says, I'm working on this nomination for the Dan David Award for Fauci. We need to beef up the COVID part. Do you have language in the can that you could share that delineates how we responded in new ways to COVID?
Okay. So, yes, this apparently was an internal email.
Okay.
The argument this diaper stain is making is that Fauci pressured or instructed his subordinates to do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere in any of this email or in any of the things he presents does it show, hey, Fauci said to do this, so we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Fauci was very well respected by his employees, by his peers. Mm-hmm. And the particular award, Fauci actually received multiple awards with a cash payout. He did. I think at the end of it, between book deals, cash awards and stuff, his net worth is like about 12 million. Okay, fine. But this particular one was just $1 million. When the scholarship taxes and stuff applied, he got about 900,000. Whoop-de-doo. Mm-hmm. This wasn't, he didn't even get nominated for this by a member of his own staff. So as his staff is talking about it, but it wasn't his staff who nominated him. It was some third-party scientist that was in no way, shape, or form related to his fucking staff.
Yeah.
So,
these assholes are just mad that Fauci didn't go along with what they wanted. I think that's basically what it boils down to. They are sycophants. Fauci was part of the first Trump administration. Fauci, however, was a scientist that used logic and reason and didn't go along with what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I think they're mad. And this is why we're sitting here now in fucking 2026, because they're still mad and they have nothing left. You know, like we said, there's other things we can talk about. There's other meetings that we can have to talk about that are probably more important. You know, housing, affordability, fucking Iran, a lot of different shit. But because all of that leads back to their dear leader, now we can't talk about that. We have to talk about Fauci.
Pretty much.
Sent this to multiple federal employees. What was the Dan David Award? Do you remember, Doc? It was a $900,000 cash award. And he got it because he used federal employees to get it. And this wasn't the only award.
So again, he didn't use federal employees to get it. And I like that. And he got it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that this guy could do a better job just having a career as a narrator, but he could. And he probably should reevaluate his dumb fuckery. But he won't.
Nah.
Was it, Dr. Fauci? In fact, you applied for and received at least 8 other federal cash prizes on federal time using federal employees and federal resources. Besides the Dan David Award, you've got the Partnership for Public Service. You've got the Adelson Prize. You've got the Smith.
I'm sorry. I like that.
Jesus
Before
Christ.
they put another one up there. And before we can reasonably read it, we have a third one going up there.
Yeah.
It's like this guy is, he's trying to do a Gish Gallop.
Yeah.
So just trying to flood people with like, here's a lot of claims. You won't have time to check on this because it's so much bullshit.
Yeah.
Smithsonian Award. You've got the National Academy of Medicine's Award. You've got the CDC Foundation. In fact, you turned your staff into a full-time application machine. You actually wrote to people and said, do you think maybe I'd qualify? And you got cash for all of this. And
so here's what I want to know. If you wrote to people asking, do you think I'd qualify? Where's the email? They have the emails.
Yeah, I mean, we have his diary, for God's sakes.
We have his diary. We have his emails. I mean, so where is it? Where is it? That's a pretty easy one to go, see, here it is. Do you think I qualify for it? And you know what we don't see?
Yeah, why aren't they showing that on a fucking billboard?
Yeah, go figure.
It wasn't
Weird.
just 1 or 2 employees, was it? In fact, you used 8 separate federal employees on federal time using federal resources to solicit cash awards. Isn't that true? Here they are right over my shoulder. Here's all of them. The people that you use, federal employees, so that you could go and get cash money. And the most hilarious part is that you weren't content to even dragoon them into applying for all of these cash awards. You then had them go out to the ethics agencies and ethics watchdogs and demand that you be able to get the money.
So the best thing about this is one of those things where I was continually checking. It's like, okay, is this bullshit? Is this not bullshit?
Yeah.
And because COVID and I'm lazy, well, not so much I'm lazy, COVID, lack of time and such, I was relying a little bit on AI summaries because, yeah. But when it comes to these, what I'd ask these questions, did Fauci do this? And the response was yes, according to Senator Hawley, who brought this up, and nothing else. No, according to the emails that Fauci had, or according to Fauci's diary, or according to NBC, or according to PBS, or according to Fox fucking jerk-off news. No, it's this little fascist fuck. All of it was, according to him, that happened, which also shows that AI is full of shit.
Yes.
Because this guy is not a source. This guy is a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Got it in your emails. Your staff and employees on federal time using federal resources being paid with federal dollars are soliciting cash for you.
Okay. So Fauci's self-dealings. In quotes, Tony's assistant routinely tells the sponsors as soon as the NIAID is notified that Tony is an award recipient, that the cash prizes need to be heightened review. And we don't just want to say no, we want to try to get to yes. Yes takes time. Okay. So here's the thing. With that quote that I assume is from an email, and that's an assumption.
Yes.
If this guy didn't have this in context that he's forcing up our ass, I wouldn't necessarily think that, this is people saying, okay, we need to make sure Fauci gets the money. Mm-hmm. I would just, this has to do with like a grant or something. And they're talking about a grant, the horror.
Yeah.
So I'm saying context would be more interesting.
Context is always good.
Yes.
And then they're turning around and saying to the agency, we don't want just an answer. We want to get to yes, because Fauci wants the money. He wants it. We want to get to yes, and yes takes time. This is your chief of staff again, using federal email to pressure the agency's own ethics people so that you could get money, so that you could get rich and violate the law.
Doing?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? You doing the same fucking thing except through the stock market and crypto bros.
Yep.
You doing the same fucking thing. I wish, it is my wish in my heart of hearts that the script gets flipped on these fucks and we show this video and be like, hey, so you're saying how, truth matters and honesty matters. Okay, cool. What do you say about this? Oh, well, I'd like to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege. Oh, okay, well, that's cool, because in this video right here, you said that he doesn't get that. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No, again, the only way that's going to function in this regard is if this guy gets like a pardon from Trump, because they're trying to make the argument that the pardon nullifies it, even though since they're fishing for new information, it doesn't really.
And the other thing that I can't fucking stand right now is that they know that Fauci is going to plead the Fifth. So I feel like that they think, that gives them the green light to just spout whatever bullshit conspiracy theory that they have, because they know he's not going to push back.
Yeah. No, it's a show trial, basically.
Yeah.
No, Dr. Fauci, federal law, as you very well know, prohibits the solicitation of cash awards or other personal benefits for federal employees. And it certainly prohibits using your own employees to do this.
So again, he's shown no proof that Fauci coerced his employees to do this. If his employees did this of their own volition, Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
CFR section 2635-205B. It says it right there in black and white. You cannot use federal resources, federal dollars, federal employees, federal offices, federal email, federal time to solicit cash awards. And you did all of it. And the worst part is thousands of people were dying while you were doing it. You were supposed to be the nation's doctor and you're playing one on TV. But this is what you were doing with your time. Isn't that true?
I would love to fucking investigate you and all your fucking cronies. Fucking Howley. Fuck you so much.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
What a fucking...
It's true to me.
Just what a fucking tool he is.
Yeah. No, he's a huge C word.
Yes, yes. Kitty cat?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, well, silence is admission.
Mr. Fauci.
Oh, God.
Senator Moreno, also a douchebag and a tool. He's going to be the last one we have on here.
Okay.
And there's a reason why I have him as the last one we have on here. I forget if it's his last statement, but he ends on a high note.
Good.
So,
do you know who David Schertler is? Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say? No, I'm just asking you what it says. I'm going to give the Constitution to my aide. He'll bring it over to you so you can have it for future reference.
So yeah, every time that he started this thing because Fauci kept pleading the Fifth, and he's like, "What is it? Do you even know what it is?" And then Fauci's like, Fifth Amendment. And it's like, I'm going to give you this, and he's going to play this game of, well, since you're not answering the question, obviously you don't know what it is. And it's like the fact that he is, constantly, using it is showing that he very well knows what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it me? And correct me if I'm wrong. Does this tool kind of look like Bob Saget?
Oh my God, you're right.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Great. He looks like a guy who hangs around with two very underage twins. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that every American should know what the Constitution says. Do you know who wrote the Fifth Amendment? So you're invoking a right that you don't know who wrote it or what it says. Is that correct? All right, let me tell you who David Schertler is for the audience because he was ejected by the chairman. He's a high-profile criminal attorney.
So this was the attorney of Fauci that was tossed out by Rand Paul because he was trying to make a very valid point of, he still does have his Fifth Amendment rights.
Yeah.
So, hooray.
Uh-huh.
He's represented some really great people, like Senator Bob Menendez. Maybe that's somebody who my Democrat colleagues may remember took gold bars as bribes from the Egyptians. And there's an article here in the Washington Free Beacon that talks about why you would hire a guy like David Schertler. And the comment is, if you're in deep shit, that's who you call. Do you feel like you're in deep shit?
Good. I'm glad we can throw shit around because I'm going to throw this around. You're a cunt. Yes. I'm sorry, Moreno. You're a huge cunt, and maybe you should be ejected because fuck off. There have been tons of Republicans that have made bank over a lot worse things, than that. I'm not saying it was any better, but let's bring up some fucking closet shit out of your closet, should we?
Well, the best thing about this too is, he's a lawyer who's representing some shystery people. I have no doubt that he is.
Uh-huh.
But it's like you have a right to a lawyer. You hiring lawyers, you don't always hire the lawyer who has the most clean reputation. Sometimes you hire lawyers where, okay, look, they're just going to get me out of shit, whether or not you've done shit, and especially if you haven't done shit. And if we're talking about like lawyers with shady shit, I'm pretty sure that if we look at some of the lawyers Trump has had, and that Trump has put in positions of power, that we've got some pretty shady fucking shit.
Yeah.
So let's continue this because he's going to get worse.
Oh, great.
Clearly, what you think today is that somehow you're above reproach. Somehow you feel like you don't need to be treated like a normal American. Can you do me a favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic you were called a racist?
Okay. This is going to be stupid. So stupid.
God.
for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus.
So remember when people called the Wuhan China virus, and you know what that was?
Yeah.
It was fucking racist. So
if you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being. Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you? You're not.
Okay, so I just want to point out, yes, those people are lesser human beings.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. Yeah, if you called the COVID virus the Wuhan or China virus, you were a racist piece of shit. If you ended up losing your job because you refused to take the vaccine, especially if you worked in the armed forces, because you know what happens in the armed forces? You have to get vaccines you might not want to get.
Yeah. Also, Moreno defends wife abusers, too.
Oh, yes.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Because his own daughter was physically assaulted by her ex-husband, who happened to be a congressman. And you know what Senator Moreno didn't call for? That dude's resignation.
Yeah.
So go fuck yourself, Senator Moreno. You're a huge cunt.
Oh, no. And again, it will get better. But again, he's having these people stand up, and it's like, if I was one of these people, my response would be like, no, I don't need to stand up for this. I don't need people to know that I am a huge piece of shit.
This is a show trial, just like you said. This fucking kangaroo court.
Willing to do that? That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyers, not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? That's a question. You can sit down in the audience. There was a mom in Ohio during the depth of the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh, this is where it gets good before he finally has his final moment of glory.
Oh, good.
Decided to go to her high school football game for her son. They hadn't been out much. The kids had been learning at school, and then the school got shut down. They hadn't really gotten much out of that education. As any parent knew, that remote learning was no learning at all. But it was a Friday night. Her son wanted to go watch a buddy go play football. So they went to the stadium. They sat alone, far from everybody else. Just a mom, a dad, a few kids. They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside. They all lived together. They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested. Those policies were put in place.
Ohio?
Yeah. I'm wondering if that, like how much of that was really true. I'm sure they weren't wearing masks. They probably weren't vaccinated. I very much doubt that they weren't sitting near people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I very much wonder how much of that is bullshit. And the other thing with this too, it's like, that learning, there wasn't any kind of learning at all. During the beginning of the pandemic, I ended up having to teach some kids during that. And one of the things I very clearly recall at the beginning of the pandemic, at the very least, you had people who had been trash talking teachers for years. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, their kids' education was their fucking responsibility.
Yeah.
And holy shit, they loved teachers all of a sudden. It's like, oh my God, we need to get these kids back in school. Teachers are awesome. Because congrats, now you have to deal with your crotch goblin. And it didn't take them, unfortunately, too terribly long before they went back to, teachers are shit again. Because... it's like, my kid's back in school. I don't have to deal with my crotch goblin anymore. So, teachers are assholes again, which is incredibly frustrating. And unfortunately, it's the way shit works.
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy who strikes me as that. He probably, if he had kids during the pandemic, I'm guessing he doesn't know how to teach anybody shit.
No, he doesn't know a fucking thing.
So he's an idiot. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
And it'll get a little bit better.
Okay.
Because you had moronic politicians that listened to the words of a megalomaniac.
Okay, hold on. Moronic politicians. Who were those moronic politicians?
Who's a megalomaniac?
Well,
who is the megalomaniac?
I'm just ignoring that even for a moment.
Yeah.
Who is the moronic politician? The moronic
Yeah.
politician was Trump.
Uh-huh.
So this guy's basically saying in, trying in a roundabout way, Trump's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So, hooray.
Well, but, hey, look, it wasn't under Trump's watch. No, of course not.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, fuck these guys.
Was more interested in having met a Kardashian than the suffering of the American people. And that is you. Your advice to communities like that, to idiotic politicians who enforce those rules, arrested that mom for watching a football game with her own family outside. When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? You won't apologize to the military members who Joe Biden summarily dismissed from the military for not taking the vaccine?
No.
Hey, sir. Hey, do you want to apologize for the military members that you kicked out because they didn't want to go through with fucking Trump's idiotic plan to bomb Iran?
Yeah. And again, we're talking about a fucking vaccine where if you're in the military, you get vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of options there. It's like if you're going to some place and you have to get vaccinated, you have to get vaccinated. There's no, my religious freedom. I don't need to get vaccinated. They want you vaccinated because if you're not, you can die and you're an investment for them. And don't get me wrong, they're not totally concerned about you not dying. It's just if you die, they have to train somebody else. And that takes money. And a vaccine is fucking cheap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Imagine that.
Will you apologize to the business owners that lost their business, shattered their lives, and they'll never recover? Will you apologize to the moms who had to force their infant children, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, to put masks on, and what that did and how that traumatized those kids? Will you?
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it's our kids wore masks. It didn't traumatize them.
Didn't traumatize them.
No.
Shit, he had stuff, we just didn't have regular masks either. We had fucking, cartoons on him. It was fun.
Yeah.
God, I cannot form it into words enough how much I just really hate these kinds of people.
It's insane. All right. Well, we are almost done
with
these diaper stains.
Apologize to the family members of the people who died because they took your advice and not only got the first vaccine, but the 5, 6 other boosters that they did not need.
I'm still here, buddy.
We apologize to
still
that
here,
mom from Ohio
motherfucker.
for being arrested for watching a football game with her family. So you didn't know who wrote the Fifth Amendment. It's James Madison.
Yeah, good for you.
Oh, good. Great. Go fuck off.
Yeah. No, again, that's the last one. And here's the best part. I cut so much shit.
Jesus Christ.
So much shit.
Because it was just a fucking show. They knew he was going to plead the Fifth, so they get to just say whatever they want to say.
No, exactly. And it's, God, it is, it's a train wreck. So, Mr. Morgan, as we close out, is there anything you want to touch on?
I don't know. I think I've said it. I think I have said that the human beings are hypocritical and we need to, understand that. But I think that goes so far as the individual human being. When it is a political body, hypocritical stuff becomes relevant. To be a Republican and to say shit when that shit can be turned right around on themselves, and Trump especially, pleading the Fifth 450 times, like that's relevant. You don't get to complain about Fauci pleading the Fifth when your own guys have pleaded the Fifth. You don't get to complain about Fauci making $1 million when senators on the Republican side are making hand over fist with crypto, with the stock market. You don't get to do that. I think they should be prosecuted if the Democrats sweep, and I really hope some Democrats with fucking spines get in, and we start looking into this shit. We start looking into their diaries. What does your diary say? I want justice. And I think if any Dem or Democratic Socialist gets voted in, we need to look into these people hard. I want to go after them just as hard as they're going after us, and let them plead the fifth, and let us bring up the videos that show them saying how, oh, you don't get to plead the fifth here. You don't get to do it. Great. You don't get to do it either. And let them squirm. I want to see them squirm for days.
The thing that gets me is I don't think, at least the ones we've seen, I don't think we'd have a lot of them pleading the fifth, because that takes a level of recognition that I think a lot of these jackasses lack.
Sure.
You'd probably have, at least early on, especially with, what was the TV show host guy's name again? The one you recognize, the Nazi?
Oh, what, Howley?
Yeah, Howley.
Yeah.
Howley strikes me as the kind of guy where if he's one of the first ones up there, he would be putting his foot in every fucking trap, and he would be confident of it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
So, yeah, I think that would be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to our podcast. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please be sure to email them to maltliquorsocialists@gmail.com. You can also check out our Facebook page, and you can check us out on YouTube.
And we also have a Patreon. If you would like to send us a couple dollars, you can have a you can get our episodes early, and we will have some bonus content that we're still trying to figure out.
Yep. So, and hey, look, even if you don't have the shekels to spend,
yes,
you can still become a member. It just won't be a paid membership, but
yeah,
memberships are good.
We're definitely not telling anybody that you have to do. No, we're not fucking influencers here. If you want to listen to us, listen to us. If you want to throw us a couple dollars or more our way, we would be glad to have it, but we are not begging. So
yep. And we'll see how I go with this COVID thing. Our next episode, I don't know if it's going to release on time the week after this one, because again, COVID.
Yes.
But the next episode, I believe, will be our season ender. So have fun.
We are having our season finale. So that should be fun. Also, if you are a Patreon subscriber, we will be having a bonus episode, hopefully from the Alvord Desert in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, no, if I can get over the COVID before then, that'll be awesome.
Yes.
I know who you are. I know who a lot of these people are. They don't even know me. I'd be embarrassed if I were you. The misinformation machine is rapid. It puzzles me.